We're on the set of the final Prime Suspect as preparations are underway for another long day's shoot.
Here we have a prime example of some extraordinary lighting going on here. He's also measuring the lamp, as we can see, and I'm also drinking a cup of tea.
Back in 1991, the producers of the very first episode encountered problems even before filming began.
Helen was working on a film, I think it was for Johnny Sturridge in Italy, and Chris and I had cried in our beers saying, oh my God, it's going to overrun, we know it's going to overrun, and it did.
Literally, I finished filming at sort of 4 o'clock in the evening in Italy, and I was driven across Italy to be able to get to an airport that could get me out in time to have a couple of hours sleep and arrive on the set at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I think as an actress, she would have liked just a little time before going into it, because she knew how complex this character was. And also, I think part of Helen as a woman wanted to strike a blow, because it was striking quite a blow for the feminine lobby.
I'd always had long blonde hair, and the feeling was that it should be cut. Policewomen don't run around with long flowing hair, unlike they always do on American TV cop shows, because people can grab your hair. So policewomen, if they have long hair, they always have it very tied back. The wonderful Trevor Sorbet came to the set at 6 o'clock in the morning and chopped all my hair off. And I was very happy to do that.
Linda LaPlante's strong opinions on Jane Tennyson's character didn't stop at the hairstyle.
Linda gave me a great note. At the time, I was sort of like a bit taken aback. She said, you're smiling too much, don't smile. And it's a very female thing, is to smile, you know, because you want to charm people and manipulate them through charm. And she said, that's not Jane Tennyson. She doesn't work that way. I'm not here to question you about any other incident.
No, I know. It's just that everything I say makes me look as if I hurt that girl, and I didn't. Moira, my wife. What this will do to her, I don't know.
So you picked her up. So what happened then? The policewoman that I talked to was so useful in that respect. She said, never cry. They never cry. If you're a woman, you do not cry. If you're going to cry, you go and lock yourself in a loo where no one can see you, no one can hear you, and then you have a little cry. You never allow anyone to see you crying. And she said, the other thing is never fold your arms. Because to fold your arms is ultimately, you think it looks strong, but actually it's a tense defensive thing. And this is much more powerful, to be open, to be relaxed. And she said, then touch people a lot, because that's, you're incorporating them in your area of power, if you know what I mean. And it seems welcoming, but it's not actually, it's a power play. So in all 22 hours of Prime Suspect, I've never folded my arms.
Linda herself had looked to someone for advice when writing the first Prime Suspect.
Linda was absolutely wonderful in the research she did with Jackie Morton, who was a serving police officer.
Jackie Morton, when you met that lady, you were scared. You were really frightened. You knew this girl was tough and she wouldn't take any shit from anyone. It was just like straight down the line police work.
I've worked with Sergeant Eastwood before. He knew about our case, so he gave me a tip-off. Man over there with the retriever found her. Or his dog did.
I was on the flying squad, and there were 40 men and me. Now, we were dealing with armed blaggers, as we call. You know, look at Life on Mars, the Sweeney. You know, we were living that every day. That was our reality for us. And so it was armed blaggers were sawing off shotguns down their t***s. And I'm sure that I was a headache to a lot of the guys in the back of the mind. I think, oh, my nickname was the Tart. We've got a Tart on the plot. That's all we need, a Tart on the plot.
Oh!
Jackie herself came through the force at a time when it was probably just about the most male-orientated job, apart from, I don't know, mining or deep-sea fishing, that one could hope to get. So it would have been very difficult then, and I assume I'm going back to the 80s, to have survived through that and got as far as Jackie did in the police force.
Being picked up and hoisted up onto a filing cabinet and left there when they all pile out on a job. Another occasion, somebody slammed a car door on her hand. You really did fight adversity. You had to be, as a woman, incredibly tough to succeed in this kind of macho culture.
Has the pathologist got him?
On his way.
Anyone, any idea how long she's been here?
Well, judging by the decomposition and the stench, a month at least.
I got a telephone call from a colleague of mine, and he'd left the police at that time, but he said, I met this woman called Linda LaPlante, and she's writing a TV programme about a female detective chief inspector. Can you speak to her?
I'd like to have a look, please.
Are you sure? It's not a pretty sight.
I want to see her face.
One day, on my way home from work, I popped in to see her, had a bit of supper, and she said, can you just look over this script for me? So I scanned through it and stuff, and she said, what do you think? So I said, yeah, it's absolutely great, but it doesn't kind of ring true about this kind of female detective chief inspector, or indeed about how the police operated. And I thought, to be honest, didn't think anything more of it. That was the end of the evening, and I gave her my phone number, and I said, if you need anything else, just give us a bell. I didn't hear anything, and I forgot about it, and then one day she phoned again at home. Linda LaPlante, can you come and see me again? And from there, it was a process that I saw her weekly.
That's Stella Mornay.
Are you sure it's your girl? Yeah. Any money on it, George Marlowe did this as well.
Really? Polybags.
Not the same. Hands tied behind the back. Pity you released him. You could have had him for 3 more days.
I'll have him back inside, and when I do, he's going to stay inside. No more loopholes this time.
Helen was, you know, being briefed a lot by that lady, and also, you know, Linda LaPlante, another tough lady. You don't want to mess with these ladies at all, you know. Those 3 out on a night out.
Linda was watching Crime Watch, and she noticed that there weren't any females as head of investigations, and that kind of, she remembered that. And then she spoke to Granada, and they were thinking of developing a cop show. She said, I've got an idea about a female detective chief inspector. And as it always happens, the ideas come together. And Jenny Sheridan said to her, what's this programme called? And she went, Crime Story. And Linda will say, I don't know. She doesn't know where she got the title from. Maybe from somebody, you know, from God upstairs, but it came into her head. And that was it. And it stuck. And it was always a good title, Prime Suspect.